So this is the second in our series of Greater Ritual of Pentagram. We did Earth, and now we're doing Air. So our target tonight is Paralda and the sylphs, the elementals of air within the sphere of Malkuth. Now, the salamanders, the undines, the sylphs, and the gnomes were first mentioned by Paracelsus, the legendary physician, and he spoke of them as being the life forms of within the elements of earth. And I thought I would read from the Garden of Pomegranates by the Ciceros. They have a wonderful guided visualization that would help us to sort of get in the right state of mind for invoking the sylphs.
Can you step back one step?
Lost my place. Talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. So this to introduce the sylphs themselves. This is from the guided visualization. You ask him to show you the workings of elemental air in the realm of Malkuth. Raphael reaches into the folds of his robe and pulls out a yellow air triangle. He touches it to the base of your throat. A feeling of warmth begins to radiate there. The archangel takes your hand and together you fly high above the clouds. Soon you are soaring higher than even the birds dare to fly. The wind whips through your hair and your clothes. You pass in and out of the clouds, feeling their cool moisture on your skin. You plunge towards the earth at breakneck speed, only to turn away at the last moment, climbing high into the atmosphere. Then Raphael takes you high above the mesosphere, some 50 miles above the Earth's surface. From here, you can see the whole landmass between the breaks in the clouds. Above you is the vastness of the darkening space, the stars and the planets in their silent majesty. What do you see below? The archangel asks. Clouds, you answer. Look deeper, he replies. You gaze into the atmosphere again, this time with your inner vision. Your vision of the Earth's surface seems to warp and curve. You now see the patterns of air currents over the planet's exterior, as if they were painted in different colors with an artist's brush. The shifting currents, the changes in wind speed and the air temperature, the formation of thunderstorms, the whirling patterns of hurricanes are all visible to you. You can now see how critical the volatile element of air is to the Earth's weather, and how often it works in tandem with the element of water. It wraps the Earth in a protective blanket that makes life possible. Raphael takes you down through the atmosphere, plummeting earthward. When you near the Earth, he slows, and you gracefully touch down on the ground with barely any effort at all. Raphael gestures towards a grassy field surrounded by a grove of trees. With your inner vision, you see thousands of sylphs, tiny spiritual beings with gossamer wings carrying lanterns. From a distance, they resemble fireflies. The lanterns they bear are the containers of the life-giving spark that is carried by the air to all air-breathing creatures. Even water creatures need the spark, obtaining it through gills or through skin. The element of fire also needs the life-giving air for combustion. A group of sylphs flutter around one is larger than the other, resembling an elf or pixie with the wings of a dragonfly. Raphael tells you this is Paralda, king of the sylphs. As you stand there, you breathe in the sylphs. Their oxygen enters your lungs, carries to all parts of your body. You feel life-giving force in every cell. So that gives us a visualization of what the sylphs are like. Now, the ritual, greater ritual, the Pentagram, was one that I got stuck on in my early studies. When you're studying along in the old books by Israel Regardie, you suddenly encounter a ritual that makes not a lot of sense. It basically says, go to each direction and do elemental things. And then it empowers you to create your own more complex elemental rituals. I was stuck on this until I encountered my teacher, Barabbas, who actually has a book on pre-order right now that's about elemental magic. I'm in the dark a little bit. Better. So I showed him the ritual. I was like, what is this? He says it's an elodin, or a resonant field. The idea is that you create a field of elemental energy around you, and then you call in spirits that match that field's energy. So for tonight's demonstration, I've modified the greater ritual of Pentagram so that I'm doing air in all 4 directions. So when I go to the east, it's air of air, fire of air, water of air, earth of air, and then you bring it together in the middle. For the invocation of Paralda, I use Levi's most excellent invocation of air and wrote the final invocation myself. To add a little bit more to the ritual to make it more engaging, especially for people who are encountering this for the first time and haven't been drawing pentagrams for decades, I decided to add a little bit more verbiage using the words of Shakespeare. And Shakespeare came to mind because the sylphs, the undines, the gnomes, they all have sort of a fairy quality to them. And although Shakespeare is not considered sacred by our culture, it is ubiquitous, and the bard has the best words. So I added a little bit of verbiage for each direction to make it more like a libresh, a little going in, a little bit verbiage going out, to sort of activate the imagination so that people would be more drawn in to the ritual. So that's the design of the ritual. First, what we'll do is we'll create sacred space with the temple consecration. The next phase, we'll do a Rosan Vortex, which is an encompassing, energizing vortex of energy that activates through the female element. Instead of being a masculine cone of power, it is a female vortex that will empower and contain the element that we'll create, and then we'll do the greater ritual with pentagram and give about 10 minutes for meditation on Paralda, the elemental king of Malkuth. And we'll demarcate when we're doing each individual ritual, so it'll be obvious. While many people would simply do a lesser banishing ritual with pentagram, I prefer to do a temple consecration because it generates far more energy and allows us to employ sacred geometry. It's much more powerful than LBRP, which is really more of a daily practice, although it can be used in that way to clear out all the other elements within the space before you invoke a particular element using a ritual like the GRP. And of course, the Rosan Vortex is in Frater Barabbas' book, Mastering the Art of Ritual Magic. And we haven't done a video on that one. We probably should at some point. Anything else I should cover?
I think you're good.
Okay, then let's begin. Start with a Kabbalistic cross to connect to our higher self, ground within the earth, and balance our energies before we begin the ritual work. Amen. We stand in a garden of our own creation. The foliage is luxuriant and in full bloom. The fruit trees hang heavy with the harvest of our own effort and diligence. For a moment, we pause at the fountain to refresh ourselves and enjoy the gentle aromatic breeze. Then we stand and start down the path that leads beyond the wall and into the wilderness. The forest beyond is ancient and huge. We hear the calls of birds, beasts, and insects. The path leads to an ancient place in the very heart of the wilderness, to a megalithic circle of polished stone, wherein is found the obsidian gateway. There we are confronted with a dark reflection of ourselves within the cold stone. With courage, we banish all doubt and fear, and with acceptance, we claim our power. Thus made whole and empowered, we step through our reflection and into the beyond.
It's just really dark.
Most pure substance, you're the first. Without form, without limits. You're the basis for all that is. Most perfect fractal, you're the second. You are found within all things, but have no substance of your own. You are the pattern of all creation. Ocean is a child of space and time. All things move and all things change. This elixir embodies the forces of creation that it may sanctify the sacred temple. Let there be light. The temple has been purified. Circle of light. This is the cauldron of transformation, wherein all wonders are possible. Let the great works accomplished here reverberate throughout heaven and earth. As it is below, so shall it be above. As it is within, so shall it be without. Yehovah, exalted be. I invoke the Raphael, Regal Archangel of healing. Grant us clarity that we may understand the voice of the higher self. Adonai Beitome. And with the Mikael, armored angel of protection, grant us your insight that we may evolve to reach the most sublime aspects of our higher selves. I invoke the Gabriel, Archangel of the Chalice in the Silver Crescent. Grant us your compassion and help us to be patient in our connection to others as we evolve along the path together. I invoke the Uriah, Archangel of Abundance. Help us to thrive in this material world, that we may have the resources to pursue our spiritual path. Ararita Ehenube. I invoke the power of my holy guardian angel. With the assistance of the archangels of the Tetramorph, we can obtain the knowledge and conversation of our holy guardian angel, and thus achieve our life's potential. The temple structure is now complete. Inheritor of a dying world, we call thee to living beauty. Wanderer in the wild darkness, we call thee to the gentle light. Long hast thou dwelt in darkness, quit the night and seek the day. We have traveled to the regions beyond to create a place of power. A place once dark is now filled with light. The forces of the universe have come to sanctify the sacred space and witness the great works that shall herein follow. I declare the temple has been opened. The Rose Ankh Vortex. The valley spirit never dies. It is the woman, primal mother. Her gateway is the root of heaven and earth. It is like a veil, barely seen. Use it, it will never fail. One is, who is pure. I call thee Neeth, pure one who stands at the dawn of time, weaving the world into being. Wearer of the red crown of Lower Egypt, you hold the wasp scepter of power over chaos. Your judgment is respected even by the gods, for you see the truth of how our world could be, perfect and ideal. Hail and welcome, Neeth.
Hail and welcome, Neeth.
Yeah. To be born free. I call thee Ba'ast, cat-headed goddess of justice and pleasure. You drink deeply of the world's delight, and you can't command respect from all. You are the imperative of true will, and all follow you in search of self-knowledge. Hail and welcome, Ba'ast.
Hail and welcome, Ba'ast.
To love. I call upon thee, Mut, primal mother goddess, mother of the gods, regal goddess, wearer of the vulture crown, whose soft wings protect and nurture all. Your selfless love teaches us what it means to be human. Hail and welcome, Mut.
Hail and welcome, Mut.
Isa. I call upon thee, Nephthys, excellent goddess, whose outstretched wings offer comfort and assistance to all. From you we learn not to fear the darkness and the transformation it contains. Hail and welcome, Nephthys.
Hail and welcome, Nephthys.
Shet. Eternity. Great goddess Isis, I call to you. Isis, who is crowned with the sun, the moon at her feet. Isis, the greatest of all magicians. You are all goddesses and all women. You are the eternal spirit of womanhood, sustainer of peace, of life, and giver of civilization. Hail and welcome, Isis.
Hail and welcome, Isis.
Uabate, Seya, Anmer, Shisa, Seshet, Uasat, sanctuary. We seek sanctuary in the embrace of the goddess. Spiral. She is the unity of all. She is the light on the path. In her all things move. In her all things live. She is love, and all things respond to her. She is the unity of all. She is the light on the path. In her all things move. In her all things live. She is love, and all things respond to her.
She is the unity of all.
She is the light on the path. In her all things move. In her all things live. She is love, and all things respond to her. A greater ritual of the pentagram for air. Over hill, over dale, through brush, through briar, over park, over pale, through flood, through fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's seer, and I serve the fairy king and queen, to do their orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall their pensioners be, and their gold coat spots you see. Those be rubies, fairy favors, and those freckles with their saviors. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou law of the spirits all be gone. Our king and queen come here anon. Exarete oro iba elzote. As when the golden sun salutes the morn, and having gilt the ocean with his beams, gallops the zodiac in its glistening arch, and overlooks the highest-bearing hills. The heavenly harness team begins his golden progress in the east. Exarebe. U ipe te I a pe de o ke I. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling sea. Enubeha. Exarete. Impeha. Ore esel giaur. The setting sun and the music at the close, as the last taste of sweets is the sweetest last, writ in remembrance, more than long things past. Enubeha. Exarepe. Mua dial he te tega. On your eyelids, crown the god of sleep, charming your blood with pleasing heaviness, making such difference twixt wake and sleep as the difference between day and night. The hour before the heavenly harness team begins his golden progress in the east. Enubeha. Enube. of all the kings, bear him to mind, a true eternal ruler of deeds, riches, magic, and wine, of fairies and song, now praise Oberon. Glorious queen, her kindness well known, all nature obeys you, your honors renowned. Now praise Titania. We call Oberon and Titania, graceful, elegant lord and lady. Your kingdom we would enter. Open the way in between to the world of Fae. I open the gates between worlds. I open the kingdom of earth. Spirit of life, spirit of wisdom, whose breath giveth forth and withdraws the form of all living things. Thou, before whom the life of beings is but a shadow which changes and a vapor which passes. Thou who mountest upon the clouds and who walkest upon the wings of the wind. Thou who breathest forth and endless space is peopled. Thou who drawest in thy breath and all that cometh from thee returneth unto thee. Ceaseless movement and eternal stability. Be thou eternally blessed. We praise thee and we bless thee in the changing empire of created light, of shades, of reflections, and of images, and we aspire without cessation unto thy immutable and imperishable brilliance. Let thy ray of thine intelligence and the warmth of thy love penetrate even unto us. Then that which is volatile shall be fixed. The shadow shall be a body, the spirit of air shall be a soul, and the dream shall be a thought. And no longer shall we be swept away by the tempest, but we shall hold the bridles of the winged steeds of dawn, and we shall direct the course of the evening breeze to fly before thee. O spirit of spirits, O eternal soul of souls, O imperishable breath of life, O creative sigh, O mouth who breathes forth and withdraws the life of all beings in the flux and reflux, ebb and flow of thine eternal world, which is the divine ocean of our moment and of truth. I summon the spirit of Paralda, the emotional ideal of air and Malkuth, by the names of Iao, Abraxon, and Protanoia. I call thee to appear, O Paralda. I summon thy ray of blended power to come forth and empower this work of magic. I reveal the secret of thy image, O Paralda. Thou art the emissary of Raphael, and you bring healing and balance and compassion for others. Your eyes are silver, slanted moonbeams, darting and alert. You are slender, wearing the morning rays of the sun as your vestment. You have gossamer wings, and your billowing hair is streaked with sunlight and shaded with the gray whiteness of the clouds. Paralda. O Paralda, we are in need of your wisdom. Come to us, grant us the vision of thy infinite wisdom. Now is the time to ask for whatever wisdom and blessings that you want to receive from Paralda, whatever healing that you need, since he's an emissary of Raphael, whose name means God has healed. If you need more focus, if you wish for clarity, now is the time to envision the gift that you would like to receive from Paralda. We thank you, Paralda, for your wisdom and your blessings, your healing and your insights. Stay if you can, leave if you must. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. That you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. And this week in idle theme, no more yielding, but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. As I am an honest puck, if we have unearned luck, now to scrape a serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, or else the puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends. And do a dedication.
Go ahead.
We thank thee, Uriel. We connect to sever our bond to you for now. We thank you for your grounding and your assistance with abundance. We thank you, Gabriel, your compassion and patience. We thank you, Mikael, for your insight and protection. We thank you, Raphael, for your healing and compassion for others. If any spirits have been detained by this ritual, leave now and go to where it pleases you most. The ritual is complete.